Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boilon here, back for another event video here on Marvel Strike Force. Today, we're going to be talking about the upcoming anniversary events that are going to be starting tomorrow at 2 p.m., not 1 p.m. Pacific, because we do have daylight savings, or by the time you watch this, you may have already been past that. But recording this on Saturday. We're also here to talk about Gear Tier 20. Right, so the data mines that I had shown in the previous video did come true, and we will be getting that with the Hero's Journey event, which is also going to be kickstarting on Monday. So this is, I think, right, this is going to be the first instance of Gear Tier 20, and it's going to be on a leaderboard. So we are going to be breaking down that event's math. The other ones, the anniversary events, are still pretty easy, but we're going to be talking about this stuff anyways, and I'm going to give my thoughts about whether or not you should be coring for this event. So if you're ready to go, everybody, let's boil this down. Okay, so let's just start here on the blog. So daylight savings, yes, that's coming. So you're going to be, I mean, unless you're in a jurisdiction where you don't change for daylight savings, there's some of those. Then it's going to be, for most of us, it's going to be at 2 p.m. Pacific or insert time zone. Now, I know that if you're in Europe, if you're watching my videos from Europe, I think that you don't change for another 2 weeks, or did you already change? I forget. I know that there's 2 weeks apart on daylight savings when it comes to Europe and North America. I know that because I'm moving to Germany, and so I keep that in mind. So it may be there may be 2 weeks where you haven't changed, right? So therefore, it might be the same time for you. So keep that in mind as well. But yes, Gear Tier 20 is coming. Now, one thing that we don't know, or at least I don't know as of recording this video, is how many minis do we need for Gear Tier 20? Right? Like for 19, it was 18 for each equipment piece, right? We have a lot of Crimson gear lying about still. So the only thing that changes with Gear Tier 20 is the minis. That's all you're going to need. And level 105, right? That's all you're going to need to get to Gear Tier 20. So despite this coming out, we don't actually know a whole lot about, at least I don't anyways, with when it comes to Gear Tier 20. How much stats are we going to gain, if that even matters? How many pieces is it going to take? How many origin pieces is it going to take? Like that whole thing. Hopefully that'll come up on the web soon, and so we can take a look at that and kind of examine that. Maybe on Monday, it's got to jump into the game pretty soon, right? Or at least by the end of this leaderboard payout. So we'll take a look at that pretty soon. Now, as far as the events for the anniversary, we have chapter 2 of the showcase being unlocked there. So you can do that. It requires Kestrel and city characters if you want to run the heroic difficulty. That's on March 10th, which is on Monday. But the 7th anniversary event, 7th voyage, this is related to Jean Grey's costume and some shards for Jean Grey as well. I'm going to open up that chart here. We're going to take a quick look at that. So you can see here on the right hand side, let's remove myself here so you can see a little bit better. There are some Jean Grey shards, 7 red star shield medic, and the shield medic costume here, the new one, 3 diamond shield medic. Good God, like we're ever gonna use this character. But hey, I find this really funny actually. But there you go. So Jean Grey shards is 5, 10, 20, 30, 50 Jean Grey shards, and the costume at the end here, with a handful of Commander XP if you still need that towards level 105, and the monthly currency that you can find here. Now, you're going to get this, of course, by doing your just daily objectives, and you're going to get points that way, and then you're going to get some additional points for battling with blitzing with Shield Medic again, and then battles with city characters in any game mode. So it should be pretty easy to get this, just like the first week was not that difficult. So I don't expect this to be that hard, and you're going to get 50 Jean Grey shards and some costume stuff along the way there, and a little bit of gold, it seems, as well, too. So let's move on to the next, the web event, right? So again, super easy. Web event is the showcase. My box is in the way, but anyways, eventful energy, starship energy, right? It's the same showcase energy. Super easy to clear. You don't need to core for this. You're going to get the same stuff that we probably already got from this past week. So right, I shouldn't need to explain this again. Super easy. Guardians, quick rumble with Guardian, right? I'm not going to bring that. Now, Hero's Journey is the important thing that I do want to talk about here, and that's going to be the bulk of today's video. So that's the web milestone. So Hero's Journey. Let's take a look at this chart here. So I'm going to go into that, and it does more Commander XP. I want to look at the inputs first of all. So battling a Cosmic Crucible we have ISO 8 campaign energy. So if you've been hoarding your campaign energy, your ISO 8 energy, it will help, of course. This is a leaderboard event. I didn't really know this. Well, I kind of knew we did the data mine, so you could have been hoarding, I suppose, a couple days ago. And then you're going to get additional points from Cosmic Crucible for Howard the Duck and Havoc at 4 to 6 yellow. This was weird. They're starting as low as 4 yellow, but they're not giving points for 7, which is super weird for like whales and stuff like that. And you get some points for just having Lalandra. And at this point, you should have Lalandra unlocked. So this part shouldn't be a problem. Now, as far as rewards go, it honestly looks like pretty standard, like main event kind of stuff, right? There's some gold here. There's some XP here, the same usual kinds of things that are in here. But as far as the progress and some purple ions as well, actually. But as far as total progress that we're going to be able to get on this, it is going to be a little bit different. I also want to point out, of course, we're going to be here to talk about the leaderboard. So this is the breakdown for the first G20 Marvel Strike Force leaderboard here starting on Monday. One thing to note, though, is that you are getting G20 minis for every single bracket percentage. But, and this is a big but here, uh, it's a huge difference. We're going to take a look at the difference from what it was for G19 leaderboards. But if you look at 1 to 3% is 2020, and then 4 to 10% is 1717. Well, you even top 25% is 1515. It's like fuck all difference between top 25% and like 1%, right? There's like five. I honestly don't think that's a really big difference. I don't know how many pieces you need for Gear Tier 20, but that's like almost nothing. Now it's a big jump to go to top 1000, but realistically, don't even think about top 1000 unless you're prepared to spend, right? If you have some of the bonus points for Howard the Duck and you're going to buy Havoc or that kind of thing, like I just would not even like put that in your sights unless you're willing to put money down, I think at this point. Now the big question is, should we be paying attention to 1 to 3% and 4 to 10%? There's not many difference. I don't like this because I have this. So this was a back when we were doing stuff for Panda Pool. So this was like Mercs for Money kind of days. This is how much we were getting for G19 minis around this time. So 1 to 3% was giving 50-50, which is a significant difference than the 2020 that we're getting. Yes, 2020 that we were getting on Gear Tier 20. So it's a huge reduction in terms of G19 minis. There also was nothing in the 4 to 10%. So I guess that's a positive improvement. But the 1 to 3% is getting a huge slash in terms of the value that you're getting from this. Like, unless they've reduced the amount of G20 minis and somehow the 20 is actually worth as much as these 50s, like, I don't know, maybe you only need like 10 G20 minis. I doubt it. But that's just, that would be the only instance of this. But you can see that it's scaled up more for spenders because even in the top 1000 here, it was 75-75. Whereas the ratio difference, like the percentage difference on the G20 minis here is pretty big. From 20 to 125, the gap is pretty significant here. So that's me saying that the G19 leaderboards were more, they were nicer, for lack of better words, for people who were non-whales. But, free to play, what I'm going to call the hardcore free to play that could still push using power cores and whatnot to get you into the 1 to 3%, got you a lot more in the Gear 19 era, but not so much it seems now on the Gear 20 era. But this is the first leaderboard, so who knows, subject to change and all of that stuff, right? So let's jump on over to the tables, and we're going to be talking about this in terms of what you can do. So it is a 7-day event, right? You're going to be doing Isolated Energy Crucible with Starjammers. I don't know if there's a free claim. I doubt it, right? Because it's not a main event. But anyways, 340,000 milestone points if you happen to whale out on this. I did not finish that. My apologies. I didn't actually write in how many purple ions you can count it from the table. I think I saw a few instances of purple ion drops. That I also think is wrong too. So my bad. I screwed up. I kind of copied and pasted from the last event. I'll be honest. But anyways, the limits for the points here, we have 54,000 points for Cosmic Crucible. So that's your 18 attacks over 3 trials. Make sure that you get those all in. Very important there. You do get some bonus points. This is all kind of like spender or like coring kind of points here. So that's why it's an orange. So depending on what you're willing to go towards. And then you get 25,000 for Lalandra, which I believe is free to play, honestly, because you should have her unlocked at this point. And then the total ISO 8 energy. Now, I'm assuming that it's 4 to 1. A lot of the events these days have been 4-to-1, so that's just what I'm assuming is going to be this time around. So you get 1130 ISO 8 energy daily. With that's your 150 cores daily. You get a free pack, and this is you refreshing 3 more times. So this is equivalent to 150 cores daily. You should get about 32,000 or so fragments from a 4-to-1 ratio over 7 days. Now you add those up together, the 31.6 plus 25 plus 54, that gets you 110,000, or about milestone 13. So where is that on the leaderboard, or sorry, on the milestones here? It doesn't give you a whole lot. This milestone 14 gives you a little bit more of a bump on purple ions. There's also 3,000. I'm not even sure if people still need XP. Like I hit 105 like 2 weeks ago, I think. You know, if you still need it, great. But there isn't actually much difference here. Actually, there's some T3 ISO 8 like purple crystal orbs, right? If you still need that, but by and large, like this milestone 14 isn't that significant because that's going to be the difference. Like if you have a 4 yellow Howard, or a 4 yellow Havoc, sorry, both, then you will get yourself to milestone 14. But otherwise, you're stuck at milestone 13. That being said, it's a leaderboard, right? So any additional points is going to put you ahead, right? And so I have a 4 yellow. Actually, no, I don't. Sorry. That's what I was going to do before we get to the final stuff. I am going. So I did Corb after the should you core video. I did decide to core for Howard after all, and I pulled an 80 on my last orb. I did not record this because I was just doing it off camera, but I pulled an 80 an 80 shard core orb at the very end. So that's why I'm just like way ahead, because I was only planning on doing an unlock and then I jumped up. So I'm going to be going for a 4 yellow, but that's about it. I don't think I'm even going to go for a 4 yellow Havoc because I don't want to pull that many cores on Havoc, to be honest. I might do the unlock, but you know, here, maybe I'll get lucky. I need 22 shards. So one more. Oh my god. What the That's that's tempting to go for the 5. I'm gonna think about it. I'm like halfway to 5-star here. 68 out of 130, right? After the upgrade. I would need 62 more shards. Uh I don't know. I guess I'll see, you know, as we go through this Hero's Journey event, if it makes that big of a difference. I don't like the leaderboards, right? So realistically, I might get a 1 to 3% at this point, but it's like a difference of a couple of minis, and that's what I don't like. And that's where we're going to end on with the notes, right? So this is the first G20 leaderboard in Marvel Strike Force. The only path forward for free to play is coring for ISO 8 energy, or doing what I just did, right? Use cores for a 4 yellow plus Howard or Havoc when he comes out. Unfortunately, the 1 to 3% and 4 to 10% brackets do not give a lot of minis. I'm not sure it's worth wasting cores to try and get into the 1 to 3%, as the difference is very minimal. So core at your own discretion. I think the difference of like 3, or in this case 6 total, I don't think is very much. We don't know if it's going to be available in the supply store at this point. There's a lot of unknowns actually, but as far as what I'm seeing on the leaderboard, this doesn't feel worth like the amount of cores that you'll probably have to put down just to squeeze yourself into that 1 to 3% for like a little bit of difference. That's just my thoughts though. Let me know what yours are in the comments down below. Are you going to be coring harder for this, or are you going to kind of play it out, try to get to the 4 to 10% and just wait it out there? That's the end of this video, everyone. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys on the next one. And if you like this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and you'll be greatly helping out the channel. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys on the next one.